My name is Memory Sinazala. I was born in a village in Kalomo district. My daughter's name is Chipego Sinazala. I am 18 years of age. My mom left me when I was very young. After my father died, I started staying with my father's young brother in the village. I started school when I was 5 years old, right there in the village. I started staying with my father's young brother in the village. I started school when I was 5 years old, right there in the village. When I reached grade 3, my father's other young brother came to fetch me to go and stay with him in another village. When I moved to my uncle's house, I stayed for a very long time without going to school. After I finally started going to school again, I used to be mistreated, and my school was very far, such that it would take me hours to get there.
kuchoka kumubanga kuenda kwa siamusi ukafika kuja kunyumba tuenzo komboka 15 kuskuru so nakaenda kuenda huko 19 so kufika pa nyumba nifike pa nyumba nikumenyewa nzo chita chani kuchoka pe mwa chokera mkla.
When I reached in grade 6, I ran away and went back to my uncle's house. When I went back to my uncle's house, another one of my late father's brothers came to get me and took me to another village. Even there, the distance from school to home was very long. It used to take me almost 4 hours to walk from home to school, and every time I reached home, I would be beaten again for arriving home late. It was very hard for me to concentrate at school because of the way I used to be mistreated. That's how I decided to go back to my other uncle again. After some time, I started going to school again. Even there, life was very hard. I did not have lotion or bathing soap to use.
Penabwera chabe nione sopo kulibe nzachita bwanje hapa mafuta kulibe nikuziwira onse mafuta.
When harvest time came, I would go to work in people's fields in order for me to find a little money to sustain myself, but even that was very hard for me to manage. That is why I decided to find a boyfriend to help me with my basic needs. When I got myself a boyfriend, he used to help me with the basic needs like bathing soap and lotion. Life became a little easy for me, and that is how I fell pregnant when I was in grade 7.
When my boyfriend found out I was pregnant, my family called him for a meeting. After that meeting, he disappeared from the village, and I have never seen him again. I have no contact with him whatsoever.
Nchini grade 7 hapo. Ninalemba nchina mimba ya nalemba grade 7. Nalemba na mwana. Nanka na mimba ya mwana huyo.
I sat for my exams in grade 7. When the results came out, my uncle called me to tell me I did well, but there was very little I could do because I had given birth to a child with a disability. My life evolved around my child and taking her to the hospital. When I got into labor, I was taken to Kalomo District Hospital, where I delivered the baby from. After I delivered the baby, I was told she was not okay. When I asked what was wrong with her, the nurse refused to tell me, but said I would see for myself. When I saw my baby, her legs were deformed. Kalomo District Hospital then decided to transfer the baby to Livingston. When we got to Livingston Central Hospital, they started performing physiotherapy on the baby. The hospital told me my baby was born with spina bifida. They explained to me that they would have operated on her if the wound that is on her back was open.
So pomuyondolola kumuleta kuno ndiye mwana tumira ambulance kuchoka ukaromo kubwera kuno kuli vingi ndio kubwe omuyondolola kuyamba omuyondolola bambo mfaka plaster pesa banambia kumuyondolola after gondonzi yabwerera.
I stayed in hospital for 1 month after my baby was born because none of my relatives wanted to take me in because my child was born with spina bifida. One day, one of my relatives reunited me with my mother. That is how she took me in, and I started staying with her and my stepfather. Unfortunately, my stepfather also does not want me and my child to stay with him because of my child's condition.
Jekwe tunabwera twaenda ku Highland kuja twambonkala ka tunakala 2 weeks kuja ku Highland na kwevi atuzata uyu mwana i problem iri kumusana iyi ni final bistard. So i final bistard yenda na pamozi na mwendo. So ngona ati sembe chikoto ichenze open sembe tunachita operate. So apa chiri close sunga chite operation so chabe mambo muleta che kuma exercise so chabe kambo chitwa ma exercise to mutene chako to muyondololako so chabe tuzakaona akakura akakwanisa tu.
I continued to take her for physiotherapy. The hospital said they would give her some type of shoes to wear when she turned a year old. They said I would have to put the shoes on her every time before going to bed. The first pair of shoes was given to her for free. But for the second pair of shoes, they said I needed to pay 100 kwacha for one shoe.
Tujatwaso anaboya watupasa chabi pakuikena nke wanampangira kana mbatu nkamwendo che umozi wanaboya wakambacha utusapato tudura so tumatupangisa na ma plaster so mwene ngakuchosa kondrama twampangira ko kasapata abamagura temwe naboya ati twagurira 100 kwacha kansapata ati kamozi Namvera kuipa uti
When I was told my daughter was born with spina bifida, I was very sad. I did not know what to do. But the hospital told me she would be okay and that one day she would be able to walk for as long as I continued to take her for physiotherapy.
Because impavu achitako pangono so mulimbeche kumuleta kuma training kati mwaimba kumuleta kuma training nemwe mwakauka mwamutene yako paja kuseni na muzuba mwamutene.
Before the coronavirus pandemic, I used to take her for physiotherapy once a week. She has since stayed for a month without visiting the hospital after the pandemic hit.
Nankala 1 month. 1 month isaenda kujeno.
I walk long distances with my daughter on my back to the hospital because I don't have money to get on public transport. When I leave home at 6 hours in the morning, I reach the hospital at 9 hours. I walk to and from the hospital, even in the rainy season. I don't know how it will be during this coming rainy season because the umbrella I used to use got spoiled. I've never missed a hospital appointment. The only time my daughter missed her appointment was when she was ill, and that was because the hospital says they do not allow going for physiotherapy with a sick child. The area I live in has a lot of wild animals. It's a challenge taking my child to the hospital most of the times. Because of that, I end up using other alternative routes to the hospital, which makes the journey even longer.
So nakaona paka bridge pajani ambiri so tubwerera tupita yamurara bonse ukundie tumapita kulibe emanzi chabe mfidi.
When taking her to the hospital, I only give her drinking water because I have no money to buy her extra food.
Because transport is so pansemu chabe kuno mamotoka kuno kuchoka kuno sapezeka mamotoka pakarinda keko ngapeze motoka.
Vehicles do not reach my area because of the bridge that is close to my village. If I had a bicycle, it would have been easy for me to take her to the hospital and back home.
Naisi ya market mujanchinga kuni nakabwerera kuchoka paja mu market muja naitenga futi kai mamotoka pera che muja because kuno safika chifuka chaka bridge apa achichako ma exercise akasiza futi nisakira inango wamene muja mapezeka mu town muja futi anitenga muja mu town ngunifikisa pamene na pa mulinda futi nitenga nchinga nimuleta kuno woli so chabe nambo nakasipika natanshika so chabe nigurisa kai ya mind school.
I stay with my mother now, but even she is not doing well. She picks elephant dung, which she sells to make some money, but even that is not enough. I wish to start a small business of selling snacks and candy. This would enable me raise a little money for my daughter.
Currently, I have a small garden where I grow vegetables for sale.
Transport yauti yafika day nasunga yo kweresa kuja bosi kuchoka mulinda kufika kuja 10 kwacha futi pobwera nsi pemanzi 20 kwacha 10 kwacha yofika kujano bwelera 10 kwacha nti 20 kwacha sana mugwira kona mafuta chani kwa sira nzidie kuzitanzira kwe kwanga maskula alipafupi alimwamene muno pale wakaliali.
I would love my daughter to start going to school someday because schools in this area are close by. As for me, I just want to start a business. I'm no longer interested in going back to school. My daughter is doing fine now. She talks and is able to feed herself.